Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Juliana. Recently I've been watching a lot of those glow up videos and how to elevate your appearance, so that's something I want to touch on today. So these 5 tips I'm going to share with you are basically things that you can implement into your daily routine that I think are pretty low maintenance, at least once you get the swing of them and they become more automatic, but at the same time they can make you look like you put a lot more effort into your appearance than you actually did. And I wanted to come up with some tips that people can use really easily and that don't really cost a fortune. Like a lot of these tips are maybe more like cosmetic procedures or somewhat invasive procedures that honestly I might get in the future, but if you're not really like able to financially, or maybe you're younger and you don't feel like your parents would approve of that or anything, I feel like these tips that I'm going to share with you today are very easy to implement and really don't cost that much. So I'm just gonna get into it. The first one doesn't actually have to do with physical appearance. I mean, it kind of does. The first thing that I personally pick up on someone is how they carry themselves and how confident they are. And I think this comes down a lot to body language and posture. Posture is super important, not only to how others see you, but also kind of how you feel about yourself. It kind of reminds me of that TED Talk where this lady says that we should all pose like Wonder Woman for a couple minutes in front of the mirror to feel more empowered before something like a presentation. But I don't really think you have to have something stressful like a presentation in order to practice good posture. And think about it, like, have you ever seen someone with really good posture? They also tend to be dressed really well or have really good manners. Like, I think all of these habits go hand in hand. And this can be especially helpful for when you maybe don't have the best body image. By having really good posture, you can fool people into thinking that you do, and in turn, because of your body language, you can kind of fool yourself. Because think about it, you probably wouldn't have good posture or want to practice good posture if you didn't really feel good about yourself and feel confident in how you look. So in this way, we are kind of tricking our brains by starting with the physical part of good posture and then working backwards to feeling more mentally confident. Okay, my second tip is to always have your nails done. For the longest time, I always wished I was someone who always had their nails done and nails fresh, but could never figure out how, because I would just use regular polish and in like 2 days it would look like garbage. And you know how sometimes it's better to have no nail polish than really chipped nail polish, unless of course that's the vibe you're going for. And where I live now, like, to get a manicure, it's normally over $100 for simply like gel nails, and every 2 weeks is not really something that I feel like is financially feasible. So basically, I've started to lean into doing my own gel nails at home. A gel lamp, like a decent one, will be around like $20 or $40 on Amazon. And I'd say like a large pack of gel nail polishes that you can choose the color palette that you want should be about like 10 to 20. So there is a little bit of upfront cost, but if you think about how many times you can reuse those nail polishes and use that gel lamp, like, at least for where I live, it's still cheaper than one manicure at the salon. And for all the products that I'm recommending in this video, I'll make sure to leave a link to my LZK where I've created a folder of products I guess you can browse from and that might work for you. Another option, if you don't really feel like you have a steady hand for gel nail polish, you can always try press-ons. I think press-ons are super great because they often look like a real manicure and they can last like over 3 weeks or so and still look fresh. I normally find them off either Amazon or Etsy, and again, I'll link everything down below. So my third tip is to have a jewelry routine, if that makes sense. To me personally, I feel like jewelry is synonymous with looking put together, and I really don't think you have to build an enormous jewelry collection, unless of course that's what you're into. All you have to do is find the style of jewelry that fits your clothing style and build a capsule collection of jewelry from there. And this collection will be something that you can put on every single day to kind of become your signature look. For example, if you're naturally into more of a streetwear style, things like chunky jewelry or like chrome accessories, they can pair really well with this style. Whereas if you're into a more feminine, softer aesthetic, I think delicate gold jewelry fits really well. So like I said, after you've kind of identified your personal clothing style, you want to find an accompanying jewelry style that will always match the things in your closet. So for me personally, I wouldn't say my style is super delicate or super edgy. It's kind of in the middle, and I've chosen jewelry that really complements that. Right now I have these hoops as well as my gold heart necklace and this ring from Igari and this gold bangle. I basically use these pieces and just kind of slap them all on at the same time most days. So even though it's not necessarily anything wild or it doesn't like vary super crazy day to day, it's pretty automatic and I can just put it on without thinking about it. By the way, H&M is really doing something with their jewelry. I remember H&M and Forever 21 jewelry a couple years ago. They would be really cheap and break really easily and would turn your skin green. But if you haven't, I would kind of recommend going to H&M to check out their jewelry. I'll also again leave it in my LTK. Of course, some people may find this approach to their jewelry, just like having this jewelry routine, to be too restrictive, and I mean, like with all these tips, you certainly don't have to follow it. And if you're someone that really likes to experiment with your jewelry, I say have at it. I just do think that wearing jewelry on a regular basis will make you naturally look more put together, and having this sort of routine or staple pieces that you can just rely on and put on automatically makes the whole process a lot easier. So the next tip that I have is to use heatless curlers. And this tip has been my secret weapon for the past, I don't know, like since high school. I don't know about you guys, but since my hair is somewhat long, I really have no patience to curl my hair in the morning, or very much for that matter, and it's really not good for your hair even if you use heat protectants and all that. It's much easier and a lot quicker every single day to use heatless curlers. There are so many heatless curling options that you can just find online. Again, I'll link some in my LTK. Personally, I've tried many different ways. I've tried the sock method, I forgot what they're called, those little bendy things that you just basically wrap. I've used rollers, I've tried everything. Personally, something that I found works really well for me for the kind of curl pattern that I like is to just use bobby pins. I can put a little video on how I do it, but I basically just take a piece of hair, it can be damp or dry. It works both ways pretty much, and then just roll it onto itself and then pin it using 2 bobby pins. But please note that this specific bobby pin method may not work if you don't have a very similar hair type to me. Even if you do have straight hair, like naturally I have pin straight hair, it might not work if you don't have hair on the finer side. Like my sister, she has really gorgeous, sleek, strong, heavy hair, and we tried this curling method on hers, and then once we took the bobby pins out after like 12 hours or so overnight, after she took it out, it just kind of went back to being straight. So it depends on the hair type that you have. In other words, basically just play with what works for you and what suits your hair type best. And I guess this tip is geared to those with straight hair or those who want to have curled looking hair. In terms of other hair types, I definitely should do a video on that. But yeah, like I only have personal experience with my own hair type, so let me know if you want a video in the future exploring heatless or more low maintenance hairstyles for different hair types. And going back to the whole low maintenance thing, since I've been doing this bobby pin hair method for a couple years now, I'd say it only takes like 8 or so minutes at night to put everything up, and it takes 3 to 5 minutes in the morning to just take it out. So it's normally about 10 to 15 minutes altogether, and if you think about the time that it would take to use a curling iron and to actually curl your hair that way, it's really a life changer and makes it so much easier to have a hairstyle that you like, that doesn't damage your hair and always looks put together. My last tip is to wear neutral tones. I definitely know that not everyone is into wearing neutral colors, but I think by incorporating more neutral tones into your wardrobe, it makes it so much easier to just slap on an outfit and not really have to think about it and still look put together. And the outfit doesn't have to be entirely neutral or gray. Even just having a neutral base makes it a lot more intentional when you do add pops of color. And it is important to note that the type of neutrals that you wear should match with your skin tone. From our jewelry tip, you should kind of have determined whether you look better in gold or silver, aka if you have a warm or cool toned skin tone. If you look better in gold, try and stay away from anything too ashy because it can really wash you out. And conversely, if you're more into silver jewelry, try not to wear anything really warm like the sunset colors. I mean, obviously, again, you can wear whatever you want, but it could look overwhelming on your complexion and not really suit your skin tone. I don't know if you guys ever have experienced this, but if you have certain items in your closet that only look good when you have a full face of makeup on, otherwise you feel underdressed in other areas while wearing that item. I think by wearing things that match your skin tone, you won't really have this issue, and again, you can always throw on whatever you want and it'll still look put together. Alright, so that is all I have for you guys for this video. Please let me know your thoughts and also comment down below what is your secret weapon to looking polished that is maybe a more subtle tip. Make sure to check out my Instagram and TikTok where I post a lot of fashion content and outfit inspo on there as well. And yeah, if you want to join the family, we're growing, we're small, but we're growing. Make sure to subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!